going to acknowledge yet, but they can see
it
it.
says we're live right now.
Yeah, I just put it live. So I'm going to finish setting this up. So I got to get in here. I got to get our people. Banks hate them. That's awesome. I like it. Where is the chat, though? That's weird. What's up? What's up? Give us a second, people. We're just getting everything set up.
Yeah, it shows we're live on mine.
Yeah, we are. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, for lives, I like to get on early so they kind of see. Normally, I'll get on a few minutes early so they can see the behind the scenes. So,
all right. So this is YouTube chat showing up over here on this window. Nice.
Why is mine not? Oh, I know why. I know why. All right, we're back. We got it. Rookie moves here.
Brad's our technical guy.
Yeah, I don't pretend to be the guy that knows what the hell I'm doing with this stuff. All right, so beautiful face. Don, did you hit the like?
Yeah.
You just hit it, didn't you?
I did. It's important that I did. Okay, let's just talk about that.
Oh man. Okay, you ready to rock, brother?
Yes.
All right, let me switch our screens. What is going on, fancy people? YouTube fam, Fat Man Zoom here. Welcome to Own the Chaos. I couldn't do it alone. I just couldn't. It's too hard. Brad does too much. I'm not Brad. So I had to bring in reinforcements. Welcome, Don Fron. What's up, my man?
What's happening, man? What's up, everybody?
We got Don Fron from the Don Fron Show. He's going to be joining us for the live stream today. If you've never been to Own the Chaos before, this is our channel where we go live every Monday through Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, where we talk about what's going on in the stock market. We have some good topics today. If you're here and you're new, most likely you're here because of the GameStop's earnings reaction, which we will talk about as the market closes. We'll talk about it a little bit beforehand, but we have other topics going down. And we got our man Don, who will be breaking down charts. I might ask him some questions on my options because I'm a newbie at the options. But first, let me hit up our starting five. So our starting five today are Sam Cisneros, Sean Ethier, Matt Arnold, Rudy Brown, and Jay Ali. Thanks for coming in early, guys. Thanks for showing up. And thanks, Savvy Money Show, for reminding people to hit that like and subscribe, hit that thumbs up, show some love. Mysterious Gal, I appreciate you guys doing it. The more Chaos Crew members that are encouraging people to hit the thumbs up in the chat, that just helps the channel, and it's less work for me to have to remember to do call to actions, especially when Brad's gone. And while I may look calm on the surface, I'm literally a duck right now with my feet just going a million miles per hour underwater.
1,000.
Yeah, how'd your day go in the market? I know it was kind of red all around.
I was short, so I did fine. This type of market, while it's kind of just choppy, BS and down, in the futures market, it's great because it's easy to get in, get your stop in the green, and when it tags out, just go short again.
So when you say short, what does that mean? Are those options plays you're doing?
Actually, the futures market. So okay. I'm in the actual futures contracts themselves. So when the markets get choppy like this, there's the you guys call a /ES if you're on Thinkorswim. That's the futures contract, and then there's SPY, the S&P 500 index, and then there's SPY options. When we get choppy and just BS like this, options don't do very well. Selling some options will, because you'll collect that premium that you're getting used to now. Yes, and then there's the SPY ETF, which is you're going to spend $400 to make pennies. Where the leverage aspect of futures, I can get in and just be fluid with the markets and just make a lot more and take advantage of just choppiness.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. You also have shares. You hold shares. You have accounts. You have more than one account, right? As far as like you have a long-term investing account, or what other types of accounts do you have?
I have my main trading account and then an investment account. which something I'm probably about to get into on my channel, because like everyone has their job and then their investments. Investments are still something important. I think everybody should have, because having a savings account is that is just for emergency purposes. Other than that, you're just losing money in a savings account.
Yeah, we just actually had the conversation on Sunday where I discussed different types of accounts, but I had mentioned Roth IRA. I don't know why certain people don't even use it, but like to me, my Roth is my savings account. That's, you know, I have my emergency 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then after that, I don't want any money sitting in something that isn't going to get me more than, you know, the inflation, the inflation per year, right? So standard rate of inflation is 3%. My savings account, that's where what you're alluding to, is where it's losing money. We also talked about a solo 401k, which I don't know if you have that, but if you don't have a solo 401k, man, you have your own business. So you may want to consider that.
Yeah, to be honest, this is actually a trap I fell into. I got so consistent. Now, I don't want to say trading's easy, but I got so consistent. It was to the T that I stayed in that bubble for so long, and just my own little niche and way of doing things, that it took me a while to even open the Roth IRA or anything like that. So like my trading account's much bigger than my investment account. Thanks to 2020 though. So that was amazing.
Yeah. I think there's other people in that same boat, especially because a Roth IRA, I'm not sure if you qualify or not, but a Roth IRA obviously has contribution limits per year. Solo, we could talk offline about it. You should check out a solo 401k if you haven't, because I mean, everybody should have both if you can. Not everybody can qualify for a solo 401k, but I think you do because you have your own business.
Yeah, there is something to also look into, is the back door into the Roth IRA, where you convert what you have into an IRA. So maybe you have more than your 6,000, because you're capped at 6,000 a year. Maybe you have that 401, it's at 40,000 that you want to just turn into a Roth. So look at that before you open up a blank one.
Yeah. Well, I digress. So guys, a couple topics we're going to talk about today. As I mentioned, GameStop earnings for sure is going to be a topic of discussion. We'll talk about the meme stock mania. We'll talk about CLOV. CLOV had that move yesterday, had a bit of a pullback. We'll get into that. Get Don's thoughts on what the technicals are looking like and how he's feeling about Clover. See if he's still in it. Penn, we're going to have conversations around Penn and potentially some surprising conversations about MGM and Las Vegas in general, and hope to take some questions from the community as we go through these topics. It's more likely that you're going to get recognized if you are asking questions related to topics. I'd love to answer everybody's questions, but try to stick to whatever we're talking about, increase the likelihood of asking those questions. So I'll go through the topic and I'll look for questions regarding that. Don, if you could also look in the chat if you see questions or want to shout out people, feel free to do it. But we'll go topic by topic. Let's see how many people we have in the house.
I thought you were about to tell me to stick to topic. My next question was, why MGM and not Caesars?
Could be Caesars, could be Wynn. The argument actually could be strong for Wynn as well. 43 concurrent viewers. We got 21 likes, not bad. But make sure you hit that thumbs up so we can get this ball rolling. Boner on AMC. Of course, there's a boner on AMC. All right.
Get off the 1 minute.
I know, right? Let's touch on GameStop, and then we'll go back to GameStop as the market closes. Just real quick, if you could pull the chart up on GameStop, did it break the 200 again, or is it still below $200?
In that conversation, the answer was yes and no. It was at 200 and something pennies, and now 199.60.
Okay. So I just want to talk about, we'll give our predictions later, but just as far as GameStop, what are your sentiments towards GameStop? Are you surprised that there wasn't, or are you surprised about how it moved into earnings as we enter, obviously, the close, whether it's the past couple days, the past couple weeks, or does any of it surprise you?
I don't really get surprised by any market movement. It was weird that just that meme stock day, like I want to say the 24th, you see right there on the chart, just this right here. A lot of meme stocks shot up. It ran right into just the magical yellow box, and that's where we found some sellers. And we kind of knocked on that door, but then started to bleed off into it, which kind of tells me people don't want to hold it through earnings. You know, I know everyone's can't wait to say Ape Nation and you know all that, but that chart tells me the apes are bleeding out one by one. So, you know, typically going into earnings, because they're all just a gamble, right? There's going to be an announcement, and then there's going to be a reaction. It's going to go up or it's going to go down. There's just no two ways about it. I like to see clear manipulation. You know, like let's say it's earnings day and that thing just tanks all day. They just run it down. Then at that point, I'm thinking, hey, maybe somebody wants it cheap. So you got the big players out there trying to sell it off because they want to buy cheap because I know it's illegal, but I think they might know something that others don't. And right now, I just don't. Like it dropped today, came back up, kind of had a nothing day so far in GameStop. So nothing really, I think, would be a precursor to make me think long or short.
Okay. And we'll get into what your predictions are and what you're expecting for it as far as it's concerned. So make sure you guys stick around. But there's a couple other topics that I wanted to touch on. And we got to start with Clover. So if you guys have been living under a rock and didn't notice the Clover move yesterday, up over 22% yesterday, closed the day, I believe, around 1080. Pre-market, like a lot of stuff looked good and just sold off. Where is Clover currently sitting at, Don?
In a magic yellow box. 943.
Okay.
Zone today.
What's that?
Zone to zone today.
So I had put out a video actually this morning and I talked about potentially a pullback. And Clover actually has, I don't know if while we would love it to continue to run, I don't know if it's necessarily surprising or necessarily, and humor me when I say surprising. I don't know that it was that hard to predict. Now, I would have loved to see like the last run back in June. I mean, Clover had a 200% move over the course of 3 trading days. We would have loved to see that. But I think that was, I don't think anybody was truly expecting that who has seen how Clover is and seen how it moves. As far as we look at a 22% day, we look at a sell-off or a pullback. If it's zone to zone for you, is it safe to say that, let me ask you, what do you see from Clover? What do you want to see from Clover as we close the week and move into next week?
It holds this zone right here. This yellow box right here, like, so for the viewers on this channel, in the chaos, I look for buyers and sellers, and you can see we've just bounced. We've hung out here. So that's not, you can call it support, you call it resistance, whatever you want to call it. That's an area of attention where everyone's putting their money where their mouth is, long or short. So we're clearly, we'll zoom in. I wanted to show just in general these last pumps. Characteristically, CLOV has had these one-day pumps over and over and over again. But so we're playing this game of tug of war right now. And if you Google bear flag or bear pin, it's going to look just like that. But so will a reversal. So right now, everyone thinks reversal is buying. Everyone thinks bear flag going shorts. You know, in the game of tug of war, you know, eventually there's going to be a winner. Someone's arms are going to get tired. So this, you know, if I'm trading it, you don't want to get drugged through the mud. If you're the loser, you're going to let go of the rope. But if you're the winner, take it for a victory lap. I don't know if that analogy makes sense to anybody. But there's a couple ways to trade this. You know, if I'm trading this, I don't want it breaking this wick today. We see the buyers came in, so I want to see that hold and then buyers follow through. But I like just buying CLOV down here at these lower levels. Anything below this $9 level, it's like an easy one because, one, I actually do like this company. And it was kind of like Rocket. When Rocket would get to the bottom, you would just buy it and wait. Put it on the back burner and wait. So I'm kind of 50-50 on how I would play this. Do I want to trade it and keep it tight? Or do I want to just buy, hold, wait for the next pump? As bad as a strategy as that is, but if you don't need that capital for anything else and you do like this company, don't mind it. You know, it's probably not a bad way to enter, or the wheel strategy. Sell puts on where you want to own it, use that to enter the ticker, and then sell calls later against it.
I love that. I love that wheel strategy, bro. I was like, so I got into my first, well, I won't say it's a wheel strategy because I was already in Clover and I basically implemented the second part of the wheel strategy, which I sold calls. So I had one contract, selling calls, and that was at $11 and it was right around there. And then this morning it went red. And I'm like, oh, this looks great. This makes sense. And I actually texted you and I was like, damn, I want to actually sell another call. Sell another contract. Yeah. So I have 2 contracts on Clover. So we'll see how it plays out, but it's looking good so far. $11 and what did I say? $10.50? $11 and $10.50 expiring on Friday.
Yeah. I got to say, you're probably still, if you want my opinion, you're probably still going to own your shares, and you collected the YOLOers free money.
And I'm going to rinse and repeat next week.
Exactly.
For next Friday.
Every week.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have you back on to have longer discussions and perhaps pre-recorded on the wheel strategy. To your point, the more you learn about it, and if you're willing to hold it, and especially like you said, Clover's been so consistent. If Clover falls back to 8, I still have confidence in the company. It's my longer term account. I'm willing to sit there. So if I can actually start hedging a little bit as it gets into that channel or stays into that channel, why not? So I told you yesterday, I was like, I was going to put a stop in at 950. And I'm like, hell, why don't I just do the second half of the wheel strategy? So I sold a call. So we'll see how things play out. So if it closes in your magic yellow box, is that what you called it? Magic yellow box?
That's what my group will call it. Yeah.
If it closes there, what are your thoughts as far as tomorrow's concerned, or what you're looking for?
I'd say we keep it right at that coin toss, because it's going to be bullish above, bearish below scenario, where the bears ran it into the bell. And did we run the timeout? Or are they catching their breath for the next move down? Or did the bulls hold it up and they wake up tomorrow with their pre-workout? So closing in that zone where it sits right now still leaves you in that predicament. It's just where we leave that zone is where I'll be directionally biased at that point.
Yeah. The one thing I do want to note, there was some news. There's 2 pieces of news that have come out recently about Clover. And that's a partnership with Time for the technology platform and exposure to new market. And then the other thing was an initiation from a bank as far as it was, what was it? It was not an upgrade and it wasn't a downgrade. It basically was a market perform, I think it was. I can't remember offhand, but something that wasn't necessarily bullish, but kind of got the headlines as far as, they set a price target of $10, which is a little higher than it is now. Nothing great as far as a catalyst perspective, but what I want to just caution people, or I don't understand the energy, is trying to focus on why. Is this Reddit movement? Maybe, possibly, probably, but it doesn't really matter. Determine what you think the value of Clover is. Look at the fundamentals. If it's in your long-term account, what do you think the value is? And if you think the value's at $15, then 8 is discount, 9 is discount. But to get hung up on why, and it's just so funny, like why is this moving? Why is this moving? Or to just, the reason why I don't get into AMC and in GameStop is I just don't believe in it fundamentally. I'm not going to bet on a stock to Wall Street bets to get behind it. I'm okay with people doing that. Go for it. But like, I don't want to do that. So rather than focus on the why, just understanding what your strategy is and understanding what you think the value of the stock is and learning it, and just rinse and repeat, because this one is one that's more straightforward than any of the other meme stocks, I would say. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I agree. And as far as the why goes, more buyers than sellers. That's why it went up. More sellers than buyers, it went down. That is the one why, for certain, So, and bag holding is only, you didn't have a plan. Like, if your plan is to hold this, like, make that plan and then just stick to it. Before you ever click the buy button, imagine every possible scenario. And if there's a scenario you want to get out, have a defined level, and then just do it.
Yeah. So you came to us, I don't even know when it was, but you talked to me a week ago, and you had mentioned that Penn stock was the perfect stock for the wheel strategy for us. And that's what got the conversation going around it. And I want you to pull up Penn's chart. And we'll talk first. I want to talk first about what's going on with Penn. There's some great news about Penn. So Penn National, which is a stock we love, one of Brad's highest convictions, one of my highest convictions, just launched in Tennessee today. They just launched their sports book in Tennessee. That brings their total markets to 8. Tomorrow they will launch in Arizona, which is the beginning of football season, Thursday night football. 9 markets. This time last year, you know how many markets were served by Barstool Bets, Don? 0. 0 markets. They have 9 markets. They should be at 11 to 12 by the end of the year, based on the Jay Snowden, their CEO, his conversation yesterday. Looking really great. Money's coming in. Really bullish on this company. And we've talked about the catalyst of the football season coming. We've talked about the new markets opening. And Penn for the longest time was in a downtrend, but it's been looking good lately. What are you seeing when you look at the charts of Penn?
Right now, so I have the whole chart pulled up for everybody. And this just what was an aggressive move down started to lose momentum. We saw it go flat. And now we're starting to see it curve back up. So the buyers slowed it down, and now they're turning it around. And I wanted to see it get above this. I wanted to see it break this horizontal pattern right here. We finally broke out up. And now
what is that? What is that, 72?
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is this horizontal was the one I wanted to break. So this is where I was, I was actually short Penn, and then we start talking about going just playing the horizontal pattern. It's horizontal until not. We broke that. That was a strong move up for me. So these are actually the plays, and holding above this zone here at 7. Here we go. I don't know why I have so many lines. Oh, my square. Sorry about that. That is confusing. There we go. So we'll say 79 to 81.50. Holding above that's where the bulls came in. That's where I wanted. This is actually so we trade. There's a bunch of mentors. I'm obviously a mentor in We Trade. This is one of our plays for the week. And in fact, just got back in at 82.70. Holding above this, I think is great. Now the sports news, I hope that's a cool catalyst and it brings everybody in. And whether it takes an earnings to show off the numbers did, or the buyers do come in, that's obviously it could be a positive catalyst. Plus just the overall, I don't want to say mindset behind this. This was a great ticker before that trend down. There was a lot of hype behind this. Like, this is the Rona crash right here. That looks like a mild pullback now after the move it took up. So I'm kind of hoping some of that. I think a lot of people still remember the good days from back here, and they can't wait to get back in on a good trend or start to lean into it. So that's actually why I really like Penn right now. Now that it's finally moving up, and as long as the excuses keep coming and the buyers keep coming in, I'm on board. More green candles than red.
Yeah, and I can't say it comes as a surprise. I think the downturn was a little bit of an overreaction. But listen, sports were gone. We were, there wasn't much going on. And leading into football season, I think once we see, and also you cannot discount the underperformance in Michigan. They laid an egg in Michigan, and they should have dominated, and they didn't. But I think they're better for it. And I don't know how much that matters next earnings or this year. But when we look at 2022, and when you look at a stock that could be in your long-term investment account, your long-term portfolio, I mean, Penn just has opportunity for huge revenue growth, which obviously their regional exposure, their brick and mortar casinos, we can't discount that to their P&L, but Barstool Bets is clearly going to take them to the next level. Another stock, though, in that area when we talk about brick and mortar, and it doesn't matter whatever your Las Vegas stock is, but we are getting reports that Las Vegas is receiving record number of revenue. And what's crazy about this is that conventions haven't even started back up, Don. So I'm a Fat Man Zoom stock, so MGM is my stock. Wynn has the best margins in Vegas when you look at all the brick and mortars. But really, any of the big boys that are in Vegas should do really well. And it was really surprising to me to actually hear that revenue is back above pre-COVID levels and setting records, and conventions aren't even a part of that revenue number. And conventions are a huge piece of the pie. So when those start coming back, watch out your MGMs, your Caesars you mentioned, and your Wins.
Let me pull this up real quick. MGM doesn't look bad.
MGM, I love because they're surprising people with their online gaming. And I think out of all the brick and mortars, they have the best online sports betting platform, and their brick and mortar, their exposure in Vegas. I mean, they're the top dog.
Yeah. I just set the alert. If that alert goes off, I'm going to buy it.
Where's
right now, what's that?
Where is your alert? It's really hard to read those numbers.
Oh, sorry, $37.
Okay.
So, and just even looking at it from the bird's eye view, pretty horizontal. So any more, like my zone's down here at 36. And that alert is for me to let me know, like, hey, when that alert goes off, I want to watch it go into that zone. There's also a reason that alert might just tag and then turn around. So that's why I put it that high, not necessarily in that zone. I want to be aware of it when it's down here. But actually, I don't mind that one at all. Caesar was a favorite of mine for a while. As far as everyone's talking about reopening plays and all that, we took advantage of the Caesar move quite a bit. Right now, man, I don't know where I would want to. I do want to actually get back in, and I'll check out. I don't know why I've never been a fan of Wynn. There's certain stocks I don't have a reason. I just don't care for them. I'm going to check Caesar out at 96. If that can pull back. I like getting dip entries. I like to buy the red candles.
The red zone, baby.
Wynn Resorts. No, this is a turd compared to the other ones. Like, look at the other ones. One was horizontal. The other one's going up. This one is already like that trend just changed. Yeah. And right here. I mean, as far as that goes, let's say this is your favorite one. Back to what you said earlier, why I told you guys pin was just the best for the wheel strategy. The wheel strategy, in short, you guys don't have a bunch of questions if you're not familiar with options. When you sell a call, your shares get called away from you. When you sell a put, those shares get put to you. So you're selling puts to enter, you're selling calls to exit. And if that's a ticker, you love this one. I can't twist your arm and convince you MGM or Caesar, you're buying Wynn. This is one I would use. I would sell puts to get in. I would sell calls to get out later. So while I'm holding this, I'm going to at least take some Wall Street bettors money that think that's going to go to the moon next week, and I'll just collect that money on the side. While I have that collateral, I'm collecting rent from someone else and just make that side money. Obviously I want the trade to do well with my shares, but in the meantime, I like free money. If someone's going to hand it out, I'm usually in line taking it.
Yeah. All right. We're getting close to the close, so I want to continue having this discussion. We'll continue in the future. First, I want to shout out your channel. Shout out to the Don Franz Show. We got 45 people from your channel checking us out, so I wanted to make sure to show them love. We got 65 from Own the Chaos. Guys, make sure you hit that like, whether you're on Don Franz Show, whether you're on Own the Chaos, hit that like. It's equally appreciated. All right, let's talk about GameStop. So it's here. And listen, I'm not in GameStop. I told you that. But it's still fun to watch. It's one of the main meme stock movements, and it has the potential to be really exciting for us. If you could pull up the GameStop after hours chart, so the 5-minute chart, we'll go ahead and keep an eye on it. I'll pull up Twitter and see if we get those numbers. But what did we have? Was it negative 63 cents a share? Is that what you said, Don?
Negative 66.
Negative 66 earnings per share. Just for fun, what do you expect?
Negative. What do we want?
You think they beat or miss?
They missed. Negative 80.
Negative 80. Woo.
Yeah. This company is the next Blockbuster. Sorry, guys. Like, that's. I don't want to fight any apes, but if you know what Blockbuster is,
I'm actually gonna say that they beat. Ooh, this is gonna be tough because nobody's home, and actually gaming's been kind of getting hit. But whatever, we're gonna say they beat, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be 55 cents a share. Loss of 55 cents a share, not 55 cents a share. So what we'll do now is, for you guys that aren't familiar, we'll go ahead and
do you think the reaction is up or down?
That's a good question.
My vote's down.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If they miss, certainly down. Mm-hmm. You can't underestimate the Wall Street bettors trying to push it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a little push on open, but I think ultimately it would end up down. There's got to come to time. And if I don't know if you've been to any GameStops, Don, but it's a horrible business model. Unless, and here's what they have to say. Let's not forget that they've made some changes to their leadership structure, to their board, and it looks like they're trying to go digital, and it looks like they're trying to shift. So if they try to do like a Microsoft restructuring and refocus on what their niche is, sure. But if they keep doing what they're doing, brick and mortar, like there's nothing, to me, there's nothing there. I'd love, and I think we might have talked about it. Why don't you try to do something like NFTs? Why don't you just try to do something crazy? Like, you need to shake the boat a little bit.
They need to get off the boomer bandwagon. They need to get with the times.
Exactly. So sell those brick and mortars unless you want to make them augmented reality experiences and do something totally drastic. You'll be rewarded for that. I don't see them doing that, but I do see, based on their new board, them offering things that are subscription based. So it will go down, is my prediction, if they don't give us anything new. They just report numbers. But if they say, hey, we got this new model where we're doing this subscription service, or we got this partnership, then I would then say yes, just based off excitement. Short term, I would be bullish on it, but long term, it's really hard for me to be bullish on this stock.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read a couple comments real quick, because one guy said, "Blockbuster, what an idiot! How long have you been doing this?" But the next guy says, "The business model is beautiful. I have this $60 game to return. How's 12 cents out?" Now that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now they are definitely getting the better end of that when they buy games. But who has those games anymore? Everything's subscription. They need to get themselves in that model. Not to mention, it's 200. What's the market cap on this? This is a $200 share. When we were having this conversation before Wall Street Bets took over, it was like a $5 stock. So we still have to catch up to this first. We got to get to one milestone before we start talking about the next. And I'm sorry, I haven't hurt everyone's feelings in here. If you're just Ape Nation and whatever the movement, sorry, that's two different reasons. You either love this company, you think it's worth that much and more, and it's not the next Blockbuster, or you're part of Ape Nation, and that's just, you're buying a dud because who cares? You want to stick to somebody because there were a bunch of shorts in here.
Yeah. How's who are these two loud gentlemen? Listen, I mean, the reality is, and I'll bring this up every time we talk about a stock that people are just diamond hands. I can't have a legitimate conversation with you if you can't give a bull in a bear case. So if you come in here spitting off about how we're wrong, all this other stuff, the reality is nobody knows. Mm-hmm. You're using all the information you've gathered over time, all your experience, all the research you've done, and you make a decision, an educated decision. But if you come in here and you're like, no way, this is to the moon, you clearly haven't done any of your research. And if you can't make a bear case, I have nothing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to every coin, and you know why. And to that argument, I'll just piggyback off of that. Why would I ever listen to someone's opinion that won't listen to mine? Like, that's a waste of time. That's like arguing on social media. No one has ever gotten off a Facebook debate and said, "You know what? You're right. I'm going to change my beliefs." Like, it's never happened.
Yeah. Let me read this before I think if we should share it. I didn't read the whole thing, honestly.
Okay. So a little bit of a gap down, but it could be low volume after hours. It just gap down a couple bucks.
Can you zoom in a little bit more?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm not used to this little tiny. Let's get emotional. Let's stretch these candles out. Let's see where we're going. All right.
So what percentage is it down?
Oh, now you're getting.
I work at big
CLOV here. Down 1%.
Okay, so nothing. Okay. Looks like we do have numbers that are coming in. I don't have earnings per share yet, but I think we have revenue numbers. And feel free to throw them in if you guys have them. So Q2 generated net sales of $1.183 billion compared to $942 million year over year. My only frustration when they put these type of numbers is I don't know what the estimates were. So I'll try to pull those up as we speak. Still waiting on earnings per share.
It's going to post it instantly.
All right. So revenue. So 1.1 billion revenue. See, this is a perfect example. Yes, year over year makes it look really good. The reality is they slightly beat estimates. 1.12 billion were the estimates for revenue. It came in at 1.183 billion. Good, it beat. But again, is that enough to move the needle? I'm not sure. Wait to hear about guidance. Wait to hear about any other things that they got going on. Ended the period with no long-term debt. That's good news. Entered into a lease with a 500,000 square foot fulfillment center. So it looks like they don't have any interest in moving away from brick and mortar. That's what that says to me.
And someone's comment says, I doubt anyone knows what you're talking about, Don, because they don't know what Blockbuster is. It was a brick and mortar store where you used to go rent DVDs. You would go physically, or you'd rent VHS, and then they moved to DVDs because they were keeping up with the times, and then they went away. Basically, Netflix put them out of business because you could get them anywhere. It's a subscription model, like your Xbox is now.
Yeah. Go on. I think Netflix still has a documentary on the last Blockbuster. It's actually pretty interesting if you guys want to watch it.
Didn't they turn into an Airbnb or where you can hang out? The last Blockbuster is still up, and it's an Airbnb or like an arcade. Like it's a hangout spot now.
How the hell did I don't. That's news to me. I know it's still up. I didn't realize it's an arcade. But how the hell did I miss Lululemon, bro? Can you pull up Lululemon really quickly? Lululemon, a stock I love, reported earnings.
Yoga pants, people.
They beat handily earnings per share. Earnings per share estimates were $1.18. Came in. Thanks, Arfin. I appreciate that. Came in at $1.65. Sales estimates were $1.33 billion. Came in at $1.5 billion. And look at that sucker go.
Yeah, it's going. I never get to shout out to Arfin. He's always he beats you on these earnings. But usually I'm the blue name typing in the chat. And I'm not ever on here.
Yes, the earnings. How much is it up?
A lot. From 380 to 412. I'll do the little percentage game for you guys. Here we go. 8%.
Okay. It doesn't show the percentage on the left-hand side?
No.
Oh.
I can turn it on somehow.
Gotcha.
Oh, here we go. 8%. So I don't know what I think I have to go to the daily on that. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure.
It's okay. I can actually pull that up as well. A great move. 8.5%. Lululemon's up. That looks awesome. I'm actually gonna
sell your position because it's up right now and probably gonna pull back to the $400 level.
I'm gonna swap out here.
It's not financial advice.
Oops. Sorry, give me a second, guys. A little bit of a lag. Oh, I can just leave that. All right. The hell did you do that? See, this is why we need Brad here. What the hell are you doing? You see that? There we go. That's how it's supposed to look. All right, guys. So as you see, this is Lululemon. Just monster. Looks good. 8.5. We'll see how that goes. But earnings look good. We'll see what they said as far as guidance was concerned. And I'm going to check Twitterverse really quickly to see if any news on guidance. And Arfin, if you have that information, feel free to throw that in there. But on Lulu, I mean, what a monster company. Go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say, just shout out to Austin. He told me just something I didn't know. Just keep my mouse on the candle, like with any other brokerage, and it shows the percentage up top. As far as percentage, specific candles do at least.
Yeah, after hours is a little bit weird. So, looks like upside guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they revised guidance on the upside, which is what we're really looking for. I mean, but this shouldn't surprise anybody, man. It's just such a great company. Should continue to be bullish. Now, obviously, that's from a long-term perspective. Who knows what to expect from tomorrow? But if we go out to the daily, as I pull this up.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier in this stream. I remember you were there. I talked about manipulation, like to the downside. Mm-hmm. Now it doesn't show extended hours, but if you actually look at your chart, you see that just the red candles to the downside, almost like somebody were to know something. I know that's kind of tinfoil hat theory, but if you look at just my charts, if you bought at my yellow box, you would have bought today at 380. Now, obviously that, picture perfect, but it just ran right into that, and then earnings comes out. So if you look at Lulu, it's just been red. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 6 trading sessions just from here. Just ran it right down, and then we'll bring up extended hours, and then we just go for it. That's what I would typically look for. As far it's I hate when YouTubers say, "Oh, I would have done that," or I did do that, But had we been talking about this before, like yesterday, this is exactly what I would have said I wanted to see to go long on Lulu. Trading strategy though.
Yeah. And as it's actually looking to make all-time highs, I think it's around just under 418. So definitely one to keep an eye on. And cleared the 50-day and the 200-day. So all bullish indicators. We'll see how it goes though. See if there's a pullback tomorrow. Should be interesting to see. I do want to bring up this comment. Who is this? I actually like this comment.
The increase their shipping capability.
Antimatter. This is a fair point. So you actually gave me 2 comments. Fulfillment centers help to alleviate shipping congestion, and they've been using existing brick and mortar stores as smaller fulfillment centers in order to achieve one-day shipping. Okay. They've been using their existing brick and mortar stores as smaller fulfillment centers. First off, I appreciate you saying this. This actually kind of leans towards bias, in my opinion. Nothing about a GameStop tells me it's a fulfillment center. That sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. Now, if they're saying that they're buying a larger store to accommodate e-commerce, I think that's a fair point. So the second comment, which I could agree with more, is they're clearly trying to increase their shipping capability drastically, which looks like they're trying to pivot to a new business model centered around e-commerce, more akin to Amazon. I like where you're thinking, but you got to tell me, GameStop's got to tell me they're doing that. For you to tell me you think, like it's clear that they're doing that, maybe not. So again, I don't know how, I don't know. You got to, if you do that, if that's the move, then I should see GameStop's closing down. If you're going to go with that model to move towards e-commerce, but we'll see. And then don't underestimate the fact e-commerce fulfillment and try to compare yourself to Amazon, which GameStop will never be anywhere in the same stratosphere as Amazon. But to do that takes great technology, incredible technology. You can't convince me that what I see at GameStop when I walk in there, those same people can create the technology. That's just my opinion. Call me a hater. That's just my opinion.
Plus, I can't help that people are really trying to bring up these reasons. So, and now this is for everybody. Try not to sit in an echo chamber, like just listening to all the reasons why you should be right, why you want your position to be right. This was GameStop right here, $19 ticker. Before Wall Street bets, before the movement happened, that's where it was. So your fundamental changes should be driving this. All your buyers that came in, that was a short squeeze. That was an attack. This is Ape Nation, probably still the same people. So, and just what I look for in the market is, yes, these candles show the up and down, but who are your buyers and who are your sellers? Because fundamentally, we got to catch up to this point from here to here. Fundamentally, we got to at least just do that before we can start cranking it even higher.
Yeah, and I want to be careful because I don't want this to feel like a bashing session. There is a path to success for GameStop, but it's highly unlikely. So I'm not saying it can't happen. I talked about the ways that it could potentially do it, but you also have to be realistic. And you made a good point. What's the market cap on this thing? And the market cap's around $15 billion, which isn't insane by any means. However, I think it's overvalued. I think it still shows that it's overvalued. So we got to hear more things. Now, Cream did say, I'm not a GameStop guy, but I've seen stores close. They did talk to last earnings about closing some locations, which was a good start. But we need more. We need more movement, and we need to see what the contingency is. Switching gears a little bit. This question is for you, Don, from Arfin, your boy. And sorry, I don't know why it's not showing up. Looking at what Lulu has done, do you think Nike can be next?
Oh, I hate Nike.
You hate Nike?
Yeah. Yeah, look where Nike. I don't like it. Social media ruined this one for me. As far as this goes, yeah, look right where it's selling off to. Now, Lululemon was a perfect example. Like, that couldn't have happened any better, because that's what I do look for. But where I exist in a trade, or why I'm successful with this, is I assume every one of my trades are going to be red. So I plan for the downside. So yeah, earnings is coming up, and it's not showing me, but yeah, a move like this, and then we got earnings in a couple days. Yeah, I would expect that. I would not be surprised to see that bounce, and I would probably play it to the long side. When things just run off into a demand zone right before earnings, I assume somebody knows something. Somebody that has way more money than I do and has access to information you guys don't.
Yeah. Going back to GameStop, and I actually like Nike, FYI, just to throw my 2 cents. But going back to GameStop, I like this chatter. Keep it going, guys. We also have about 140 people in the house. Make sure you're clicking that like. Over at the Don Franz Show, we have 42. Hit that like, subscribe, guys, if you guys want to follow us. Listen, we go live at Own the Chaos. We go live every Monday through Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we talk about this type of stuff that's going on in the market. Tomorrow, we're actually going to be live for Affirm's earnings. And also, we're going to be talking about Facebook's event. So they're releasing their AI glasses, partner with Ray-Ban. That should be exciting. So make sure you guys hit that notification bell to get notified when we go live. And you're going live actually tonight, right? You go live on Wednesdays.
Yeah, Sundays and Wednesdays when I go live. So tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time.
All right. Going back to GameStop really quick as we wind down. And I love it. Keep it going, especially if you disagree. First of all, we officially got the numbers. Thanks, Rudy Brown. GameStop's earnings per share. You are the big winner, Don. You got closest. They did miss. Estimates earnings per share were 67 cents. Came in at a loss of 67 cents. Came in at a loss of 76 cents. They beat on revenue slightly. 1.12 billion where the estimates came in at 1.18 billion. Hendrick says Chewy had a market cap of 60 billion, right? So why shouldn't GameStop achieve it as well in a few years? And I'm going to tell you why. Do you have any thoughts on that before I answer that question?
Why are we comparing like a car dealership to Home Depot?
Yeah,
Chewy and GameStop. What's up with that? Is my first question.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's one point certainly that I would consider making. Currently, Chewy is at a $30 billion market cap. So forget about what it achieved. What is it at? GameStop's at 14 billion. Chewy's at 30 billion. I think the easy way to answer, which is what Don's alluding to, is you are not comparing apples to apples. And whoever said that Chewy wasn't overvalued? Like, Chewy just became public and is newer to the market. And so there's so many different factors on what you could think about Chewy. So could it double in 2 years? Sure. There is a way where GameStop could double over the next 2 years, but there is a long way it has to go. A long way.
Let's clear it real quick, because somebody is letting us know that Chewy is not a car dealership company. Yes, that was just actually an analogy. I do know what it is. Thank you, guys.
And Chewy's not a car dealership, and GameStop is not Home Depot. Come on, people. You're better than that. Come on. Is the GameStop conference done? Or are we still waiting on guidance? Or I think conversation is what you meant. We're still talking about it. I'm just reading your guys' comments.
Okay, I know we're not supposed to go off topic, but let's do this one because it's my ticker. It's basically, I invented it. It's Tesla. Would you say Tesla is overvalued?
Hold on one second. Let's definitely talk. I want to talk about. Let me just go through all these and make sure we're good, so we can just clear the table. Chewy has a subscription service where food gets shipped to my house. Yes, they have a subscription service, but it's different. It's animal products that people need So what are you shipping? Were you going to ship physical games? What's your point? Peloton is a subscription service. Apple has a subscription service. What is your point? Sorry, I got really fired up about that. I don't even know why. But you're taking one little issue and you're conflating those. Again, it's not apples to apples. I understand where you're trying to come from. Yes, it's a monthly subscription service, but that is the point. Yes, it can get there. I mentioned that if they go to a subscription model and they go to a digital model, e-commerce model, yes, but they've alluded to certain things, but they haven't outright said this is the plan. So until that happens, I refuse to be bullish on it.
Yeah.
Oh, your point is it doesn't compare. Yes, we agree. Sorry, my bad. All right, so go ahead. Sorry, go with Tesla.
I was gonna say just real quick as far as where I stand on GameStop, because I might have said something like, maybe I offended some apes. I'm buying when there's buyers, sellers when there's sellers. For me to be bullish GameStop, you get above this first, break above 230, and then I'll talk. I like when things go up. I don't mind buying things that go up. But in the meantime, it's got to get above that little ceiling first. But somebody says, is Tesla overvalued? What do you think on that? I'll give my opinion.
Well, I think the first question is, when I think about Tesla, again, we talk about the market being a forward-looking vessel. I think about what the value of Tesla should be, like where it should be at, and people get caught up in like looking at what fundamentals should be. The reality is, well, let me answer your question. Is it overvalued? I don't believe that Tesla's overvalued. I think that it's very quickly showing. Their growth is ridiculous, and their continued growth is going to be insane. Now, could it pull back? Yes, it could pull back. Kathy Wood recently just gave a price target, the bull case, for $3,000 a share, which Elon Musk, there was a leaked email internally. He had sent an email that got leaked that basically said, if we can execute, that is a very realistic projection for the stock. So that's $3,000. I believe that that Tesla could be at all-time highs. I shouldn't say should be, but could be at all-time highs. They should have a monster Q3. They're going to dominate this quarter. We're already seeing numbers out of China. August deliveries were over 40% of what they executed in July. And by all accounts, we should expect a dominant quarter. If that happens and supply chain doesn't constrain them, you should see Tesla dominate this year with over 850,000 deliveries. That to me is insane. And next year you should see 1.2 million deliveries. I don't think it's overvalued, because I look forward and I see that valuation getting grown into.
Yeah. And my only thing I'm going to leave everybody with here, I think you guys are sleeping on the solar. The fact that in the UK, your electricity bill is Tesla. Tesla gets into the energy business, it's over with. That's why, as far as like why I talked about Tesla years ago, was 100% that the cars are just cool. But now they want to help Texas out with their grid. They're just going to just dip their toes in that water. And the next thing you know, your electric bill is going to be Tesla. That is free money, because like Elon says, that nuclear reactor, the sun, it shows up every day. It doesn't miss a day. And that's where they get a lot of their power, where they get some of it, and then they just got to sell it to you. That's it. I think Tesla hasn't even come close to that yet.
Well, and you could speak to this a little bit more than I can, but Tesla's the clear market leader, and we talk about this all the time. Everybody's talking about the next Tesla. The reality is nobody's even close. So as everybody tries to catch up, all Tesla's doing is distancing themselves from the pack. Their product is just far superior than everybody else's. And so, I mean, even if, the Ford Lightning's a monster, there's more than one people can live in the space. Like, that doesn't worry me. Where Tesla's going, you think about the Cybertruck, the Roadster, all that stuff. I don't mind waiting. The semis, we're not even talking about the semis. They're just so far ahead of everybody else, and they're doing it in-house. So that's going to allow them to create more cost efficiencies. And let's not forget, people, they have spent the same amount in money on marketing that Penn has spent, or as many markets as Penn was in last year. That number was zero. They don't spend anything on marketing. You want to talk about demand? You want to talk about growth? Get out of here. So Tesla has a huge opportunity, and GamerStream has a little bit of conspiracy theory with tinfoil hat. Tesla share value, 3K per share. Kathy Woods is pumping Tesla because Mark Blurry is short on RK. Let me tell you something. I appreciate that theory. The reality is like Kathy Wood does her due diligence and her team does it, and they actually lay out the framework. So I can't really get myself to agree with that. Maybe the timing was to combat that, but the bull case is legitimate and it's founded in data.
Yeah, because that's what I say. Everyone says it's not a conspiracy. They have a duty to make their funds look attractive. They want to be right. They still need to be right. They need to get that inflow. But you look even more like a fool if you go out here and just throw out Tesla to 25K, or like after the split, just because you're trying to pump it. You'll ultimately look even more wrong than before. So they're not going to just step that far out of line just for that.
Yeah. I just want to look at this before I comment on it. Because I don't think this comment was correct, but I want to make sure I actually double check before I make it. So the comment is that 70% of her portfolio has gone down.
Which one?
I'm going to just say RK because that's the largest. That's a large portfolio. You're not telling me over what time frame, but year to date it is down, but it's only down 2.6%, friend. I don't know what 70% where you got, and she crushed it. Or any one of her ETFs you look at last year absolutely dominated.
Yeah. Even from all-time highs, down 20. If you were that nerd that bought at the absolute top, you're down 24% today. Even at its worst peak, you were down 39%. There's not a 70% down scenario in this particular fund.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Mike Burry is short RK. Nothing came out of my mouth that didn't say that. I'm saying your conspiracy.
No, he is. He's short RK.
No, I know. I'm not disputing that.
Oh, okay.
Gamer Streamer said Google Mike Burry is short RK. That's not a conspiracy. That's not what I said the conspiracy was. I said your conspiracy hat was, as I interpreted your message, and I might have said it incorrectly. You said that Kathy Wood came out to combat it, essentially, to bring the bull side out. So that's what I understood as a conspiracy. Like you thought that she was just essentially making it up. Now I could be wrong in misreading what you were saying, but no, I'm not disputing that he's short on RK. So there was one other thing that I wanted, or another comment that I really liked. My man Anson Matero is coming in good. What are your thoughts if GameStop successfully pulls off an NFT marketplace to resell digital games, rare in-game items, collectibles? Could very easily be a multi-billion-dollar market. Well, I mentioned that earlier. I don't know if you were on the live stream, bro. I agree with you 100%. I think that would be an incredible move. Whether it works or not, it doesn't matter. The hype would be great, and I think that would be a smart pivot. Look to the future. If you want to shake things up, look to the future. That's exactly what Microsoft did. That's exactly what IBM's trying to do. It's just cut bait and just really tear the whole thing down and try to build it back up again. I think that would be awesome, Don, to do an NFT marketplace, resell digital games. I think that would be an awesome move to take a chance on.
How do you resell a digital game, though? It's
so
not scratched.
Well, it's the NFT. It's the NFT.
Oh. Yeah, access to it.
Yeah, and then the great thing about an NFT marketplace is GameStop would benefit every time anything gets resold, even if it's not on their marketplace. That's the beauty of NFTs, is that the originator also gets a little bit of a piece of the pie. So as it gets continued to be sold, that's awesome. And if it gets sold on the marketplace, they're just double dipping.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they could take NFTs. They can take it a bunch of directions, but I think to think about that, I think that would be huge. And even if it doesn't work, even if you just announce that we're building it, and if you tried it, short term, GameStop, could you imagine the move on that, Don? If that NFT marketplace for GameStop?
Yeah. Yeah, then I can see, because that would just fuel Ape Nation again, the movement, it would just bring back everything. At that point, momentum would just take over. I'd be in that trade.
Rusty, I know. I think the hype. I mean, do you imagine Reddit? Rusty Golfer, this from over at your channel, Don Francho. Who still buys physical games? I've been downloading them for years. GameStop is for Dungeons and Dragons nerds. It's not nice.
You know, here's where I'll be bullish. GameStop. You guys seen the movie Ready Player One?
Yes.
Have you seen the movie? You know how they go in there and they go into that physical store and they're actually buying stuff? That's where GameStop is bullish. GameStop becomes the only rights to that. First of all, it gets created. Second of all, they have all the rights. They're the only store inside there. Then we're rocking and rolling. Then it'll be all the valuations everyone says it's going to be.
Sorry, I'm reading. I was totally a distraction. I thought that was only on music NFTs. I think you're referring to the originator gets royalties. As far as I understand, that's not the case. And the reason why I say that is because sports teams are looking to do NFTs. And for that reason is that, so Ticketmasters and StubHubs, they're not the only ones that benefit. The original, like Dallas Mavericks, are going to be the first ones to launch NFT tickets because they want to also make money if the tickets get resold. So it's beyond music as far as I know.
Yeah, because you can attach rights to it. Whoever owns this gets this.
Yeah. Yep.
In a digital world, yeah.
And you don't have to, but companies like this would want to. This makes sense. It looks like potentially there was a clarification. 70% of her positions are down. It's down 70%. Well, 70% of positions, whatever. How the overall portfolio performs. I mean, 10%. Typically, 10% of a long-term investment portfolio, 10% of the positions carry the entire gain. So I just care how it performs. Yeah.
That is literally Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more people are echoing that. Okay, again, 70%, even if 70% of the positions, what's the point? You know, like performance is what matters. I'd rather have 70% of my positions down and my account up 50% than 70% of my positions up and my account up 10%.
Yeah. Imagine being wrong that much and still up. That's not a bad position. Like, I'm in this for my bank account. So as long as that continues to go up, we can have all the debates we want as long as that number on the back end just keeps going up.
Exactly. I've been drawing this live stream out just because we've had good numbers and I have to unfortunately wrap it up, but people are going to hopefully head over to you at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Check out the Don Fran Show. Don will go live. So you guys want to have more of this banter, chatter. Really do appreciate it. And I really do love competing views. I love you guys. We love when you guys challenge us and give perspective. Listen, that's what it's all about. Bringing perspective, being a part of the community. I do want to invite you guys to our community, Own the Chaos. You can click that join button. And for $4.99, you can get access to our Discord where Brad and I hang out every day. Gives access to technicals on our watch list, gets alerts. It's all the sort of good stuff. So go ahead and on top of that, the Bulls and the Bears. Let's not forget those handy dandy Bulls and Bears. So guys, if you're interested, click on the join to join the Chaos crew. At the very least, you can hit that thumbs up to like on the way out the door. And I want to thank Don. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you coming out.
Of course.
Did you have any final words, my friend?
Man, let your account performance dictate it, not the why. These candles are there for a reason. That's it. There's a million strategies too. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat. There's even more to do it wrong. Let's just find the right ones. Stick with it.
Yep. I look forward to seeing more of you guys back here to talk shit about GameStop. I know we ruffled a little feathers, and I welcome that. I welcome the trolls. No, we didn't have any trolls today. We actually had a really good conversation. Lululemon all-time highs. Shout out to Arfin for doing the hard work. Rudy Brown, thanks. Appreciate you guys. We are out. I will be here tomorrow. Affirm after hours earnings reaction. Facebook launches their sweet, sexy glasses, AI glasses. We're going to be talking about all that. See if Clover bounced. Praying for Clover bounce tomorrow, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Bye. See you,
good one.
Don.